What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with another crazy box deck, and this one is going to revolve around Joltik. And despite having arachnophobia when I was a kid, this little baby spider is one of my favorite Pokemon, and Jolting Charge is just too solid an energy acceleration attack to use. And I figured if Badoo can hang with 30 HP, why can't this little critter? You accelerate 2 basic grass energy and 2 basic electric energy from your deck to your bench Pokemon in any way that you like, which is nuts, and makes this deck combo with an insane amount of different Pokemon, most notably Iron Hands for Ampy very much for against matches like Gardevoir and Charizard and Dragon Bolt before your opponent evolves, as well as Regigigas with Jewel Breaker, which then really just puts the entire match against those latter two decks that I just mentioned into your favor, as well as decks like Raging Bolt, since now you can take easy Gust KOs on Pokemon like Teal Mask Ogerpon, and we play a whole lot of Gust in the deck, which I'll get into more in a second. There's a lot of Pokemon I gotta break down though. Now, what's nice about Joltik is it has a very, very underrated evolution attacker. It has Galvantula with the compoundized abilities. Attacks by this Pokemon do 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon if they have an ability, and most Pokemon at this point have abilities. So when you pair that with Shocking Web, where you do 50 plus 80 damage if there's an electric energy attached, and I'll give you a little hint, there's always going to be electric energy attached, you're swinging for effectively 180 damage with a 1 prize attacker. That is insane. That's one-shotting Pidgeot EX, that's one-shotting Squawkabilly EX, it's one-shotting Mew EX. I mean, it's taking down so many support Pokemon with just a nice single prize attacker. I actually really, really love this card, and I think I kind of want to look more into maybe a Galvantula video following this one, because I'm having a ton of fun running it. But regardless, let me digress. To deal with Charizard a little bit easier, we do have probably my least favorite Iron Leaves art. We do have the Rapid Vernier Iron Leaves attacker with Prism Edge. When you just bench it, switch it into the active spot, you can put a bunch of grass energy onto it, and then you can just one-shot KO a Charizard EX, which is super nice. Against decks like Raging Bull, we also do play one copy of Miraidon EX. Now, Photon Blaster doesn't necessarily swing for enough damage to take a KO on Raging Bolt, but when you pair that with Black Belt's Training and do 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX, or use Bloodmoon Ursaluna and that, you could take KOs on a lot more things than you had previously realized. The other support Pokemon for the deck will be Mew EX, Squawkabilly EX, and Fezandipiti EX, as well as Iron Bundle. The first 3 will be there for the early game and mid game draw support. Iron Bundle is going to be there for any Suedo Gust. More specifically, if there's like a V Pokemon, like let's say Rotom V in the active on our first attacking turn, and we want to use Iron Bundle to take down whatever baby basics are on the bench, we can just put down an Iron Bundle because we don't care which. We just want to take 2 prize cards first and keep doing it for the rest of the game. And I know right now you're probably thinking, all right, hey Chris, this deck is really cool. There's a lot of cool attackers in this deck. How do you plan on accelerating and keeping up with all the energy acceleration between so many high retreat Pokemon and no other energy setup except Joltik? Well, I'm going to tell you that's with 3 copies of Heavy Baton. If there is a Pokemon that is KO'd in the active spot with a 4 retreat cost that is knocked out from damage from an attack, you can move 3 of those basic energy to your Pokemon in any way you like. And since Regigigas, as well as Iron Hands, which remember are our primary attackers, both have 4 retreat costs, that actually makes this tool work seamlessly in this deck. Galvantula is also a very, very easy Pokemon to set up since it's just 2 energy, so a couple manual attachments go a very long way there. Now, for supporters for the deck, it's a very, very consistent, very, very straightforward line of 4 Arven, 4 Iono to get us cards that we need via search and just hand disruption. We've got 3 copies of Boss plus 1 Counter Catcher, and a Prime Catcher means we are gusting up whatever Pokemon we want. With an Iron Bundle, I mean, we're taking what we want when we want. That's kind of the goal with this deck. 1 Research and 1 Black Belt's Training are there kind of as the flex supporters. I think those kind of pair nicely in this deck. Artazon is going to be, I think, the most clutch stadium since we can get Joltik down. We don't have to waste any of our 4 Nest Balls or 3 Ultra Balls on it. We can use those to search out any of the other support or attacking Pokemon needed, while Artazon could be a good stadium bump as well as our primary way to get down Joltik. The rest of the deck is looking very simple. I'm playing 5 electric energy and 4 grass energy. The reason why I'm playing 5 electric energy is because more of our attackers might need more electric energy. I'm thinking basically Miraidon and Iron Hands. With the exception of Iron Leaves, that does need 2 grass energy. That's very easy to just, get into the active and set up. Iron Hands and Miraidon both need more electric energy. Iron Hands, that's if I'm using Arm Press for reference. So yeah, I like having the 5 4 line and then 3 jet energy, which could help pivot between different attackers if our opponent tries to stall us out, because that is very, very possible with this deck. We've got very high retreat costs on a lot of Pokemon. Now, I'm pretty sure that's it for the deck. That was a whole lot of information really fast, so I hope that didn't go over anyone's head. I feel like most of the cards in this deck are self-explanatory, and this is one of those decks where you kind of just watch and you see it unfold. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for match number 1. I think match number 1, phenomenal showcase. This is one of the few times I've actually recording my intro in the middle of the video. I recorded an intro and then I changed up the deck a little bit in after match number 1. And here I am kind of going back and explaining the stuff. So just watch match number 1. Everything will click so much more on how this deck flows. But before we hop into today's video, I've got 2 things to say to people. One is much less important. It's if you're going to TCG Player to order any deck accessories, especially deck accessories, decks, or singles going into post rotation especially, but more importantly for any card game, and you're going to TCG Player, use my link in the description down below to support the channel in a huge way. And thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that for real. I appreciate y'all. The more important thing that I wanted to talk about is on April 5th. On April 5th will be something called the Creators Cook-Off, which has been created by my boy Chef Husky. If you haven't seen his channel, definitely go check it out. I will be putting the link to his channel in the description down below. He is an awesome creator and an even better person, and he is creating a tournament where a whole bunch of Pokemon TCG content creators are coming down for one deck building showcase, and basically just a cook-off where there's going to be a bunch of random decks that people are playing, building, hopping into a massive tournament to see who the best creator is that's, you know, that we got playing. And let me tell you, there's a whole bunch of them. I've talked to a lot of them as well over the past couple of days, and I have to say, they're just an awesome group of guys. I'm so excited to be playing with those guys, but Chef and I will be having a bit of a different role in the tournament. I sadly will not be participating in this tournament in the way you might expect. I will be drawing the winner's playmat as well as casting it with my boy Chef Husky. So me and Chef will be hopping on together in a call and just, you know, I'll be streaming the whole tournament and jumping into a bunch of games, just streaming their games, talking to them, giving some interviews with Chef to different players at different points, and we'll be casting it together. So, you know, maybe this is the start of my casting career. I'm not sure. It's always something I kind of wanted to get into, and I'm super stoked to be having my first I guess time doing it, be with someone like Chef. He's a very easy guy to talk with, and definitely very easy to listen to. So if you're sick of me yapping, because I know I definitely would be too, definitely tune in on April 5th for the Creators Cook-Off and see what Chef Husky has been cooking up. Now, with that being said, I cannot wait to get into this video and show it off to you guys, because this deck is for real nuts. So I will see you guys in match number 1. Welcome to match number 1. We do honestly open up with a pretty solid hand, and we're going first against Dragapult EX. Now this is a deck I do plan on taking pretty well. Do I want to bench a Squawkabilly though? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I do want to use Nest Ball. I could even use Ultra Ball this turn too. What would be more important to take? We could go Miraidon. Miraidon can get me Iron Hands, and I mean I could go in with Pikachu, but even that doesn't feel great. Did I prize both my Regigigas? Are you serious? Well, that's not good. Okay, that's bad. Man. Oh, does that cause so many different problems? Okay, whatever, we'll figure it out. Let's go Iron Hands here. Definitely not what I expected turn 1. I could go Squawk, but I have a feeling I don't want that thing on my bench. That is going to be a huge Phantom Dive plus Dusknoir target. I think right now I would rather just get Mew down. I can maybe copy an attack. Could copy a Phantom Dive. I think that could be a bigger help. And we'll bench all these guys. Restart for 1. I'm going to hold the switch just in case they try to Gust Stall. And this is a good hand. I'll hold this hand. So then we'll pass. Next turn, if I don't top deck an energy somehow, not somehow, like, you know, if I don't, that's okay. I think I'll just Iono, give myself a brand new hand, hopefully get an energy, use Jolting Charge, try to set myself up a little bit better, and then I can follow through with a setup on Iron Hands, which should hopefully take me 2 prize cards. Oh. Okay, it's not just Dragapult. It's a Glimmora deck, too. Oh my gosh. So they have to have Fighting Energy, Dark Energy, Psychic, and Fire Energy. And apparently they got the single prize Toad Scroll, which I'm assuming means I can't take any cards out of my discard pile back into my hand based on the Toad Scroll. I don't think that's going to have Grass Energy and be an attacker like that as well. Definitely not the pile I thought it was going to be. Doesn't mean I'm not any less excited to see it. If anything, I think I'm more excited to see this thing cook. But I definitely have to watch out because I have no clue what is in this deck. And there could be a lot of problems for us to deal with. I mean, they got Fighting Attackers, which we could be weak to. And yeah, right? Iono's probably safest. I'll give him a new hand. But I think that's fine. Because I don't have a great way. I could take Iron Bundle. But I do kind of want to KO their active. I'll take Iron Bundle down just to thin it out of the deck. I could always rip the ability at a later point. I think for now we do want to go Iono and just kind of hope we get one energy off this. If I can get one energy off Iono, I see it as an absolute win, and we get the Jet energy. That's sweet. Alright, so we'll smack this guy down here. I don't think I want to play Joltik in case my opponent does Rare Candy Evolve with Sparkling Crystal on the active, or even just get another energy attached. I think I'd rather just attack here. Get the Jolting charge, get 4 energy set up on Iron Hands is probably going to be in my best interest. And now I can amp you very much. I don't have Boss's Orders this hand. So if they do evolve into Dragon Ball EX, I will not be able to take a full KO for 2 prize cards, which would be wildly unfortunate, but that's okay. That's alright. I believe. There's levels to how this deck is going to work. They got the Crispin, so they could get the Psychic Energy down on Dreepy. But that doesn't mean they have Rare Candy Dragapult in hand necessarily. They're playing a lot of different Pokemon in this deck. So the consistency is going to go down the more options they have. They got the Fire Energy in a hand. I'm assuming they take the Psychic Energy down on Dreepy. No, they get the Fighting Energy on Glamora. Tell me you have Rare Candy Dragapult Sparkling Crystal. No, you retreat and go in with Glimmet. Use Ascension. Probably get down Glamora EX if I had to take a guess, which means my bench space is limited. And that's just an easy... Oh, actually, do I even want to get rid of Iron Bundle? I actually don't need Boss's Orders if I don't get rid of Iron Bundle. But who would be the next best Pokemon to get rid of? Honestly, it might be Fez. I could bring Fez back. Let's get rid of Fez. What's my hand again? I don't have Boss. I would have to Boss around Glamora. I do want to take 2 prize cards. I'm just going to get rid of Fez. I can always Night Stretcher it back, assuming I can take down Toad Scroll. And if I can't, and I regret that later, I'll regret that later. For now, it's what we're rocking with, and they actually are still going to pull off the KO too. Alright, cool. That's awesome. That's great. That was a really good play from my opponent, I have to say. That was awesome to kind of watch. They do effectively have 300 HP, which I know I was knocking Pikachu, but this could be a situation where Pikachu actually could really clutch up. They will swing for 280 on Iron Hands as well, so I do need to get a Heavy Baton down right now, just to ensure that I am playing as smart as possible, and we do with Arven. Alright, this works. So I think we go Hyper Blower here, right? Yeah. We Hyper Blower. I want to take one of their other Pokemon from the deck. I don't really, or from their bench. I just need to take 2 prize cards this turn. I will gladly take a Toad School. Well, Arven here and go in with what? Heavy Baton, and we could go Night Stretcher, get Fez back right now. Right? It doesn't feel too bad. I don't mind that at all. Let's do it. So let's go Night Stretcher, or Heavy Baton on the active. Night Stretcher to pull back a Fez. I can flip the script here. And we'll see if we draw anything huge off that. Actually, you know what? I do kind of like Miraidon here. That's probably going to be the next Pokemon I set up. And I'll also bench a Joltik. Galvantula could be used to this match. It is weak to Grass. And, well, I've got a really good Grass Pokemon here that is waiting to be the backup attacker that I was knocking. You know, I was putting it down. I was like, yeah, it's not that good a backup attacker. It's really there for the HP buff. No, apparently it's there as my Glamora counter. So we'll take Little Man down. And do I want to Ultra Ball anything away? I don't think so. I mean, I could honestly get rid of an Iron Hands and Artazon here, but I wouldn't thin the deck enough to restart or anything, so I don't think that's worth it. I think I just want to amp you very much, take 2 prize cards on Toad School, just get that thing out. The more I could recover with my last Night Stretcher, I think the better. We're going to take 2 prize cards, Pray. One is Regigigas, and there's both of them. Alright, cool. And before anyone yells at me, oh, why don't you play Heavy Ball? Remember, I am trying to make this rotation proof, and here are where the problems are. Alright, let's just get rid of Miraidon. I'll keep Fez, I'll keep Mew. Whatever. My bench still looks pretty big. That's a interesting glitch. Nope, there we go. Now it's small. Alright. Huh. They're going to evolve into Dracloak. That's fine. As long as I don't see Dragapult taking a KO this turn, I think we'll be okay. Let me just... How much are we actually swinging for, right? If I evolve into Galvantula, we're swinging for... I'll move 2 energy onto Galvantula, and then one will be electric, one will be grass. That's 130. plus 50, since our opponent's active Glimmora EX does have an ability, will be 180 times 2, way more than 2-shot KO. It'll be 360. Alright, yeah, we're good. We are good to go. They have a 3 energy retreat cost, which is good too. So even if they set up and they're putting that energy on Dracloak, which tells me they're not setting up a Dragapult EX this turn, at least not one they're attacking with. Even if they attach an energy here, they would still need a Crispin to get an energy down onto a potential Dragapult EX with Sparkling Crystal to then attack, take out Joltik, but it would only do 230 damage. Oh, they go boss. And they take Fez! That's okay. It's okay. It's not my Joltik. Oh my god, but they were taking 2 more prize cards. And my Fez was knocked out 1 more time, so that always feels good too. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, let's go Mew. Just see what's going on here. I do have Iono. I can Iono my opponent's at 3. If nothing else, we'll evolve into Galvantula. I'll smack down a Regigigas. I don't... I can't thin this hand down enough to use restart this turn, so we'll just Iono ourselves to 4, put my opponent's 8 cards to 3 cards, and if nothing else, I mean, I'll swing. Oh, we could counter catcher too. Oh my gosh. Retreat into Iron Hands, promote Iron Hands. We will manual attach an energy onto Regigigas, or do I just throw it on Galvantula now? I'll throw it on Gigas, because then I can move 3 with Iron Hands. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We'll counter catcher up Dracloak, because this is the closest thing that's set up to be a problem. I will use restart for 1, but I really like the spot we're setting. Boss's orders? Yeah, good night. Good night, Streaks. Well, amp you very much for 2, and I am so prepped to take the last 2 prize cards this game. Oh my god, this deck is actually so much fun to play, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this thing is actually nuts. It's hard. It's definitely a complicated deck to play. It takes a little remembering, like the different lines, what's good when. Definitely have to be able to adapt for things like Dustfield, Glimmora EX, but if you can handle all of that, the deck is ready to cook. Now, my opponent has 3 cards in hand. They do have access to flip the script to get him 3 more. I don't know what they do to close out this match. Briar wouldn't do it because Glimmora EX is not a Terra Pokemon. If they take a KO, if they like Rare Candy Evolve and somehow set up and attack with Dragapult EX, they, I guess, wouldn't KO Iron Hands. If they did KO Iron Hands, I was going to say I'll move the energy to Regigigas, promote, take the KO. I don't think that's possible, though, because they'll swing 200 if they swing with Dragapult EX. We would still be alive. If my opponent does take the KO with Glimmora EX, we move some energy down to Galvantula, promote Galvantula, win. I think we just kind of have game on board at this point. And I have to say, I am leaning towards taking out Pikachu for that match 3. So I apologize for the intro. I might redo the intro. So if I redid the intro, because I took out Pikachu, this is going to make a whole lot less sense. But, you know, that's just your average Ginj vid. There is a Pikachu EX in the deck right now. I played a couple warm-up games if I do redo my intro, and I didn't know if it was worth it. I think I'm leaning towards taking it out. So for match 2 and 3 will be the updated deck list that you saw in the intro. This match right here, I think, is the proof I needed that we don't need Pikachu. I kind of need a Vessel and another gear or something like that. And we're just gonna walk through this match. We're gonna move an Electric Energy and a Grass Energy, and apparently the rest of the energy onto Galvantula. I will never understand how many bugs are in this game. It blows my mind. My opponent's gonna go down to 1 prize card. I'm gonna promote Galvantula, apparently the world's best backup attacker. Maybe I stick a second one in the deck at this point too. That would be pretty fun. Regardless, we'll swing for 330 damage and take the KO. Galvantula, the single prize menace, attacking for some massive damage right there, giving us our last 2 prize cards and making us walk away with match number 1 with the slightly less consistent version of the deck that I will be changing in the next 2 seconds. So with that being said, I will see you guys in match number 2. And all of that whole last minute about me talking about all these deck list switches solely pertains to me being a bum. Not thinking. After having these thoughts in my 2 warm-up matches, like, oh, that would be good cards to change. And I'd be like, nah. I'm gonna go do that. Stop. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'll see you guys in match number 2. Welcome to match number 2. We open up with it's a decent hand. I mean, sadly, we got Iron Leaves, and it's probably not going to do me any huge favors this matchup. Really at all. It's really just going to be there, I guess, to get KO'd at some point. Maybe I could clean up KO with it. My opponent is playing the single prize Slowbro, which is going to be pretty fun too. So if they get Pokemon on the top card of their deck when they discard it, they can copy their attack. So Destined Fight could be something to watch out for. But for now, let's play it slow. Let's do our thing. We know what we came here to do. Let's pull it off. So we'll Nest Ball, and I think we'll just go in with the Joltik here. I don't want to bench Squawkabilly because our bench is going to be much more limited with that Rapid Vernier. Iron Leaves more than anything. Regigigas probably isn't going to be our best friend either. This is probably going to be a double Iron Hands matchup. Now, I don't remember for certain how much HP Slowbro has. I believe it's 110 or 120 though, and I'm gonna, or do I? I'll Pokégear. If I get Arven, I'll play Arven. Yeah. Because I don't really need to play anything more. I think right now I just go Arven, and I want to take down, what, Nest Ball and Heavy Baton. Just get those down kind of ASAP, so I'm ready to go for next turn. We'll take down an Iron Hands, and then I'll Heavy Baton this guy up too before using Jolting Charge. Now, if my opponent KOs my active, we'll be okay, because I can go in with Iron Hands, swing for some big KOs, and if they boss up Iron Hands and KO it, well, then I'll have a problem. But for now, they've got 5 cards in hand, and I can pray. I can pray that they don't have the nuts like that. They need 2 energy accelerated to Slowbro to use the attack, so they do have to evolve into Xatu and get a manual attachment off, and I think that might be the, like, deciding factor on them potentially not taking the KO. I know for us, what's the best way to do this? They do have Clever Own Sense too, so they can actually get 1 Psychic Energy attached to Slow. It's Slow King, not Slowbro. My fault, my fault, my fault. Someone's definitely yelling at me about that. And it is 120 HP. So Ampy very much will in fact work. And my opponent's gonna Cypher Maniac 2 cards up top. So we know Tatsugiri, if they choose to use it, will hit a card, but if they don't have a Psychic Energy in hand, they might not be able to accelerate anything. No, they do. Okay, Slow Draw 2 perfectly. One of them has to be a Psychic Energy. We know that for a fact. Just so they could attack this turn, and the other would probably be Arven. If I had to take a guess, no, they fail it. I was going to say if they go Arven, they could get out a rescue board. No, they get Jet as the other card, and Academy at Night to put the top card. Oh my god, tell me they had a perfect Pokemon in their hand to use in a situation like this. That would be really annoying, and it is Crobat. Oh my god, they're going to take 3 prize cards off. Oh no. They're going to take 3 of Joltik. All right. No matter. Lucky for me, my my opponent doesn't have any more Slowpokes down, so I can bank off that. I don't really... Actually, no, I kind of want a Night Stretcher. I kind of want to go in with Galvantula this match, too, if I can. It's a gamble, but it is one I'm willing to take. Give me Night Stretcher, give me Joltik. And then I'm going to Iono my opponent. I will... Yeah, no, I'm not. I was gonna say, do I Academy at Night, put Switch on top, and just keep Switch in my hand? No, I don't. I'm just gonna do my thing here. Definitely gonna bench another Iron Hands. I'm also going to attach a Electric Energy to Hands, and then we'll Ampy very much for 2. Now, my opponent has to get down another Slowpoke this turn to make sure that they can keep attacking. If they do not, I am just gonna boss up. Or if they don't get 2 down, they're in trouble, because I am going to boss up 1. And if they don't get 1 Slowpoke down, then I'm going to boss up Xatu, and I'm going to take a KO on Xatu with Ampy very much, and just try to run through my opponent's Iron Hands list this way. I do also have Arven, which could be pretty big, and they got the Night Stretcher to get back Slowpoke. Okay, look, we got our boss target. We got 2 prizes guaranteed. That would really set my opponent back, especially if they don't get another Slowpoke, and I think guarantee this game, despite that unfortunate Crobat. That is insane. That is actually so funny. I really didn't think about that guy clutching up so hard. Does my opponent have another energy in their deck, or in their hand is the question. They have 2 cards. If one of them is not an energy, we will not be seeing a Clairvoyant Sense, and of course, one of them is an energy, so they will be drawing the 2 cards perfectly. That's definitely something for, yeah, Buddy Buddy Poffin for a Slowpoke. I was going to say, they either take a Buddy Buddy Poffin or a Slowpoke, but they're just going to Buddy Buddy Poffin for the 1, and then Itchy Pollen. I am going to boss up that Slowpoke and just take it down the guy with the energy. Just make sure I'm doing what I can. They could take the last 3 prize cards on Joltik because they don't have an evolution this turn. Oh well. I chose to do this to myself, so I will live with the consequences. For now, we'll attach a basic electric energy to Joltik, and I think we just... Now, you know what? We'll actually play Artazon too. I don't want to give my... They could take more Slowpokes. I don't want them having cards to put on top of their deck. I don't want them to have a Pokemon like that. I'm going to use Artazon. I think it's just... Yeah, another Joltik, which I really don't want to take down. We just want to Ampy very much for 240. That's ridiculous. I forgot. This is a water Pokemon, so we are swinging for weakness. Regardless, we are now going to be up in the prize trade by a prize card. We have just one more Ampy very much KO left to take. And if my opponent KOs my active, well, it is going to be 3 energy to Iron Hands, and I will clean up from there. If they just use Badoo, they're in trouble. I will Ampy very much for the last 2. And of course, they have the Stadium in hand. Now there's 2 cards left, and naturally one of them is an energy, so they could use Clairvoyant Sense. Now they need an energy, Slow King. I think I keep saying Slow Bro. They need Slow King, energy, and a Stadium, and they have Research. Well, you know what? I'd rather have a good game than a blowout or something like that, and I need to dodge that Crobat. Now they probably only play a 1-of that Crobat, right? It's not often they can use this Crobat, although I guess Badoo's super popular. Maybe they do. They get rid of 2 Draytons. All right, that's fair, and they take a Slowking. Now they've got the guaranteed KO, assuming they could use Academy at night. Do they have game? If they Night Stretcher Crobat or something like that, they got Fez too. Oh my gosh, they might actually have game. They might. They easily could. They Night Stretcher. Bring Crobat back? We're cooked. I benched Joltik for what? I was hoping I would get the evolution. But, did not seem I'm going to be that lucky. They're going to Academy at Night something from their hand, and I'm just praying it's not another Crobat. I'd rather it be Conkeldurr, that's fine. They take a KO with the active. I move a whole bunch of energy. I'll throw it on Iron Hands. So we'll do this here, and yeah, that's fine. We go Iron Hands for KO. They'll take their 2 prize cards. Whew. And we can take a deep breath because we're up 2-0 with honestly such a fun deck. Like the more I played this deck, I played a couple games. This is my 4th game at this point. It's so much fun. Like, yeah, come on, take your prize cards. I want to amp you very much for the 3rd time in a row. Oh my gosh, I'm just so happy they didn't get another Crobat. I seriously panicked so hard. Like, my heart, that feeling when your heart just plummets was gone. It was at my feet. I was like, oh my god. They're halfway down to winning, and all they did was KO a 30 HP Pokemon. What am I witnessing? But no, we're okay. I think my opponent actually might have tabbed out at this point. I think they just went completely inactive because they know they took the KO, but it is a very easy Ampy very much for game. And I think post-rotation, something that helps this deck even more is that Lost Vacuum rotates. I think right now Lost Vacuum is just the perfect, ideal way to deal with this deck. Take out Heavy Baton. This is a post-rotation deck, so I think, you know, if you're worried about Vacuum, don't be. Rotation happens in, what, like 2 weeks at this point? Less than that? I think just under. Or, actually, no, it should be, like, we get the new cards for rotation, literally in 2 weeks on the dot. Oh, at the time of this recording, not the time the video goes up. So yeah, less than 2 weeks by the time you guys are watching this, so don't worry about Vacuum. Play your game, have some fun. We got an awesome deck going on here. Definitely look into this one. Now, we're 2-0. Let's hop into match number 3. Now, let's see if we can clutch up the perfect record with this fun Joltik box. Welcome to match number 3. We open up with a bit of a fun mulligan. And honestly, we get a very playable hand, so this is pretty good. Are we going first or second? We are going first. It's a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I've got a great hand to follow up. Depending on what my opponent is running, I could be a little scared if they're playing some sort of donk deck. I might need to put a Joltik active early, and it seems we are. Miraidon can... Actually, Miraidon can't KO Iron Hands, though. And I think that's what I'm going to bank on. I think here I am just going to Nest Ball out little baby Joltik. Alright, I don't think we Squawk and seize this game, because they can amp you very much that, and that could cause huge problems. Also, Regigigas isn't great here either, that would be fair. Miraidon actually might be one of our best attackers. Miraidon, Bloodmoon Ursaluna, and... yeah. Huh. And another Miraidon. So what do I want to Nest Ball for? Maybe we Nest Ball for Fez, and I Tandem Unit for... Joltik. Joltik could be great, actually, as an... Like, Galvantula could be great as an attacker, too. Let's Tandem Unit and get down another Miraidon and Joltik. Do I have... I do have Galvantula in deck. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a weird match. That's for sure. Okay. Heavy Baton is not going to work. But I can accelerate, hopefully, enough energy in so many different places that will be alright. Let me get a Joltik. And do I even bother? I am going to bother with Iron Hands because I could take 2 prize cards on Miraidon. And we'll smack a Heavy Baton here. And then pass it on over to my opponent. This is going to be the weirdest match of a lot of them, but it's going to be a ton of fun to play regardless. Sadly, my opponent did get a mulligan, so their hand is 1 card bigger than it really just needed to be. Would have been awesome to go second that turn, get 4 energy accelerated down to Iron Hands ASAP, but it's not the end of the world. They will play Iron Thorns. It's actually not a Pokemon I'm super scared of at this point. I mean, sure, they kind of shut down Flip the Script if that's in the active spot, but that's fine. I mean, I don't really need abilities from here on out. They'll just use Peak Acceleration. Won't KO my active, and they are going to Iono my Jet Energy to the bottom of the deck. That is more problematic than anything with a hand like this. So here's where I run into my biggest issues. Right here. Right here. And they're going to Peak Acceleration. Get 2 basic energy attached to different Pokemon. I'm curious to see where they throw it. Honestly, could be even on Iron Crown. They might look to take down Joltik. And no, it is on Iron Thorns. Okay, fair. Maybe they have an all-electric build, and we are going to get nothing too useful out of the top deck. Okay, let's just get a Grass Energy on Joltik. See what my opponent's got in store for us. If they KO my active, my gosh, are we going to be fighting for behind? And there's not much I could do about that, huh? I could boss up a Pokemon. Could boss up, like, Iron Hands. They might not have a tool to retreat, and if they do, they do. Like, whatever at this point. Let's do it. If I could just stall them out 1 more turn to attach retreat, use Joltik, and then maybe 1 more turn, that would be huge. So we'll do this. I'm liking this. It's not the most ideal setup in the world, but hopefully it gets the job done. Now, they probably play a bunch of Arven to get more Future Booster Energy Capsules. They probably have a whole bunch of research that also might be in their hand to dig it out. There's a good chance this play isn't going to work, but I think it's our best play to just stay live, and they're going to boss his orders themselves and bring up Iron Hands. Now, gosh. All right. Iron Valiant 2. Oh, my lords. They got more Switch carts in their deck than anything, huh? Playing Iron Valiant. Okay, this is going to be one of the matches ever. Maybe I could get Prime Catcher. Right? Like, maybe I could just Prime Catcher something up. They'll get an Electric Energy down on Iron Hands and pass it on over to me. They got 3 cards in hand, and I get a Switch top deck. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're live. Oh, that was so clutch. Okay, where do I accelerate this Grass Energy? I think I actually want to go to Joltik, because then I'm going to get 4 energy down on Iron Hands here, and I'm going to feel great from there. All right, now we're live. Our remaining Grass Energy are going to fall on Iron Hands, which is okay. We don't have Boss on Miraidon for Ampy very much, so that's problematic, but I can retreat next turn and use Ampy very much once on Iron Hands, and then use it a second time on Iron Hands, and hopefully take 3 prize cards with that. That would be pretty awesome, because then a single prize knockout on Miraidon would put me to 2, and then a KO on Iron Valiant or Iron Crown would clean up my match. So I think that's kind of how I'm going to be playing the rest of the game. They get a Psychic Energy attached to the active, which is not enough to retreat or use Arm Press, and then they will pass it on over to us, giving us the driver's seat and allowing me to retreat. And I don't think it matters if we use Arm Press or Ampy very much. I'm going to use Arm Press just in case they play Switch Cart. Switch Cart will then put them at 130 HP remaining. Actually, still just outside the range of Ampy very much. But, you know what, whatever. I'll just Arm Press again for KO. 2 prizes is still 2 prizes. Can't complain. We're 2-shotting this Pokemon no matter what. If the final KO can get us a 3rd prize card, awesome. If it can't, it can't. It's not the end of the world. And they'll attach a Jet Energy to Iron Thorns. Bring that guy to the active, and then they'll be using Volt Cyclone. We'll see where they move the energy to. They are doing 160 damage to us. They could Ampy very much us, which could be problematic. Actually, no, I forgot. They actually have a lot of boosted damage from Iron Crown. Okay. This is an interesting spot to be in. But it's cool, because we get Arven, Prime Catcher, right? No, of course it's prize. All right. Well, if that's the case, why don't we go Pokégear and Heavy Baton, maybe? Or Ultra Ball. Because then I could go in with Galvantula, and I could move 3 energy to Miraidon, hopefully get another energy for Galvantula. Or do I go Pokégear? And hopefully get some other supporter next turn. You know what? Let me just get the Pokégear. And we'll keep the Heavy Baton in case I need that for literally any other Pokemon. For now, I really don't have a great way around this. We just swing 160 with arm press. Okay. I mean, we knew this was going to be a hard match. This is not... Like, this deck is a box deck made to counter the meta, and this is somehow everything except what we expected. I knew it was going to be tricky, but this is great. Oh, my lord. What? What? Oh, my god. As if it couldn't get more problematic. They'll amp you very much for 3 prize cards. And, oh, man, this is bad. Okay. Let's smack down 2 energy on Miraidon, or... Oh, actually, I probably would have put all 3 energy on Miraidon, so that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I am going to be using Miraidon this turn to take the KO. I do have access to Fezandipiti as well this turn, which is going to be pretty big. I want to Pokégear first, though, and we get Galvantula there. That's huge. Don't want to play Artazon. Is there a Pokemon worth taking? Actually, there is. Regigigas is useless this match. Mew is kind of nice, but Bloodmoon Ursaluna is going to be even nicer. Could be a boss target for my opponent, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, let me just Pokégear, see if I can pull an Iono, and I can. Perfect. And then we get Iono here. There is still a chance we could pull this off, especially if I Iono my opponent into like nothing playable, which is possible. And we get a boss's orders too. That's huge, and an electric energy for Galvantula. Yeah, this I like. Because then they'll KO my active. I'll promote Bloodmoon Ursaluna, swing for KO, and then hopefully switch that guy or get Prime Catcher out of here somehow, or a Jet Energy, and then I'll take a KO with Galvantula or something like that. We'll figure it out. These are later issues for me. We are going to Ultra Ball away Squawk and Gigas. I just want to do as much thinning as possible right now. I'll take down a Mew. You never know when I kind of need it for that draw support. And we'll Photon Blaster here. 4 KO, taking 2 prizes. I'm curious to see how my opponent responds to this KO. They could go in with Iron Thorns. We get Prime Catcher Bundle. That's big. That's big. Okay, they might even go in with a single prize Miraidon Accelerate Energy. No, they're going to go in with Iron Thorns. That tells me they have an energy in their hand. Do they have another Pokemon to set up? If they get down another Iron Crown, they could take the KO this turn. That could be cause for some concern, but I can use Galvantula. They are just going to Prime Catcher up Galvantula. That's fine, though. That's okay. Right now, they're only swinging 80 damage with Miraidon. And I can just Prime Catcher back Iron Thorns, take a KO that way. And they'll go Lively Stadium. Oh man, wait, they have 200, 160, 140, I don't know, I think they're still okay. Actually, that HP buff is going to be really nice for my Pokemon too. They're going to peak acceleration, they're going to whiff by 20, but they can't. Well played, well played. So I would need a Stadium bump too, to take out that Iron Valiant this turn. Iron Valiant is now my target. I can bring it up, right, once during your turn, yeah. So if I Prime Catcher it now, we'll actually still be okay. Let me Vessel Mew away here. I almost want to go... Actually, no, let me get rid of the... Mew. I want to go for the research and see if I can get the Stadium out. We got 2 in the deck, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. This is a very full send play, but I live and die by the full send. Live and die by it. Give me the Valiant. And let me promote. How much energy do you need? You need 2. Yeah, there's no shot I'm setting you up. Let me promote Miraidon here. If I could KO this guy, keep this guy safe from return, that would be huge. I'll slowly accelerate an energy onto, honestly, Bloodmoon Ursaluna just in case. And then I'll research. Pray for the Stadium bump. Pray for the Stadium bump. And we get it! Oh my god, that's so big. Oh, deep breath, Chris. We're good. We're live. Alright. We will use Photon Blaster for KO. Yo, my palms are sweating. I'm like so into this deck for literally no reason. Alright. That's huge. That's so big. And now, you know what? If they get another Iron Valiant and they somehow pull this off, look, I did what I could. Like, you know, there's no better thing to ask for. I am fighting the hard fight. I'm fighting the good battle. They got 2 cards in hand. They can't swing for KO yet. I think they're just doing 200. Is there anything else they could do? We can't attack. No, we're fine. We just Jet Energy to Bloodmoon Ursaluna. No, I'm taking it down with Galvantula. This is Galvantula's video. It's a Joltik deck. Don't scoop. Give it to me, please. Please, I need Galvantula to take it. They're gonna retreat. I don't have boss's orders in hand, so that's a little annoying. But nah, they don't KO either, so I can't even Night Stretcher for Iron Bundle and move that guy. Actually, they'll just give me another Miraidon. Ugh. Boss's orders top deck one time. That'd be awesome. No, we don't get that lucky. All right, so you know what we'll do? We'll jet. That's why I put that energy on Bloodmoon Ursaluna, because now we can jet Bloodmoon Ursaluna to the active spot, take the KO here, and now I'm one energy away from retreating. I'll throw this energy here literally just for vibes. I've got a Night Stretcher to take back an energy just in case as well. We'll Ultra Ball take out a Gigas. I do have an energy. I should have a couple. Yeah, so I can Night Stretcher for an energy, retreat next turn if I need. But I think here we're kind of in a great spot. I will Arven. Again, just want to thin the deck as much as possible. I'm not going to take a Night Stretcher in case we get Iono'd. I want to leave that in the deck. I will, however, take a Ultra Ball. And if we get Iono'd, I want the best chance of drawing into Night Stretcher. I don't want to use it yet. I want one in hand, one in the deck. I want to leave the Pokégears in the deck for the same reason I'm leaving Night Stretcher. I think we can just smack this guy. It really doesn't matter where at all. My opponent could still win next turn if they pull off an Iron Valiant play. It's just going to be a little harder with Bloodmoon Ursaluna in the active spot, because now we've got a super tanky. This is the biggest guy we got in the deck in the active, so that helps. And Jet Energy means I don't have to worry about not attacking next turn. I can just Jet Energy, Galvantula, swing with Galvantula, take the KO. My opponent doesn't have much going for them. They got 2 cards in hand. If none of them are a supporter, they might have to bank on attacking and passing, since we can't attack this turn, and them hoping we don't have a switch out or anything like that. Little do they know, I've got a Jet Energy to Galvantula to swing for 180 damage, which will clean up Iron Thorns. They got the energy attached, and yep, there's the Volt Cyclone. They're going to move the Psychic to Iron Crown. That is smart. That is really smart, because then they could try to take 3 that way too. If they get the Future Booster Energy Capsule attached to it. Does not matter though. I will not give them that chance to breathe. We are going to jet our Galvantula to the active, and for a Joltik box deck to clean up the video with Galvantula just feels correct. This, yeah, my opponent gave me the thumbs up. I gotta give them the thumbs up back. That was insane, that match. I did not think we were coming away with that. Man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I had a lot of fun playing this deck. Like, a lot of fun playing this deck. Yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, April 5th, Creators Cook-Off. Tune in. Can't wait to see you guys there. We'll have more information coming soon, just running it over with all the other creators about how we're running the tournament, all that stuff, of finalizing. I mean, the date is more or less finalized. It will be April 5th. Time, subject to change, but expect a... like around an average time for my streams. If you know, you know. Tune into my streams. I haven't been able to stream in a bit. Been a little crazy, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you guys in future videos and for that tournament. With that being said, stay epic. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Peace.